I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking to you about the new field lesson plan and some of my expectations. This will be worth 20 points, so it's a significant assignment. Use the lesson plan template provided, which we'll go over soon. Write your lesson plan on the lesson your mentor teacher wants you to teach, not the one you think I want you to teach. Make sure that your mentor teacher tells you what is appropriate for that day for the kids. Name your file, last name, first name, FLP1, as shown there, and submit the assignment to the Turnitin Dropbox for the assignment. Turn your assignment in before the due date and time, and 5 points will be deducted for an incorrect file name. Up to 10 points may be deducted for spelling, punctuation, word choice, grammar errors, so make sure you double check it and maybe take it to the Writing Center. Your lesson plan will be graded on completeness and how your statements match the requirements of each section of the plan. This is the template you'll be using. Fill in the boxes. Pre-service teacher, that is you. Put your name in there. Dates of the lesson to be taught. Ideally, you write the lesson plan before you give the lesson, and so you should be doing that. So write that in there. It's not something you write after, it's something you write before. Allocated time, how many minutes? Will it be 45 minutes, 50 minutes, an hour? I would like to see 45-minute lesson plan minimum, but with prior approval, we can perhaps do something else, but you'll have to get feedback from me first. Okay, the context. That is the description, background of students being taught to include number of students, demographic backgrounds, etc., English proficiency, 20 to 50 words giving me the context. Who are you teaching? Description of the physical space. Are there banana tables? Is it a small music room? Is it a gym floor? What is the description of the physical space? Give me 20 to 40 words. You don't have to give me a picture, just give me a description. Content area, grade levels. Is the learning plan at the beginning, middle, or end? So is this math, 5th grade? And is this at the beginning of 5th grade, the middle of 5th grade, or the end of 5th grade? Standards. This is where you will probably put the TEKS, or if you're doing preschool, then you would have the preschool standards that would be there. So this is where you'd be the TEKS. Make sure that there are no more than 2, because I want to see what the main focus of the lesson is, and copy and paste them in there. Is the lesson plan part of a sequence of content? Is the lesson at the beginning, middle, or end? This is simple. There's no word count here. You can say, no, it is not part of a sequence. It is not at the beginning of the unit. Or you can say it's at the beginning of the unit, middle of a unit, end of a unit. For instance, if it's a 3-week unit, you can talk about that there. But if it's just an isolated lesson by itself, maybe you're going to have fractions for a week. And then maybe this is the beginning, middle, or end of the fractions week. So whatever you put in there, is the lesson part of a sequence of content? Yes or no? And if yes, then is it beginning, middle, or end? Period. That's it. Student learning outcomes, objectives. Include lower and higher level SLOs. Remember, I want no more than 2 written as measurable instructional objectives. That means it has the measurable verb, it has the action verb. Nothing like know or learn. Those words do not belong there in the measurable instructional objectives. There will be point deductions if you don't write it as an objective that is measurable instructional. Assessment of student learning outcomes objectives. Pre-assessment, formative assessment, alternative. How are you going to assess prior knowledge and learning of the SLO above? So for your lesson, what kind of formative assessment, what kind of summative assessment will you be having here? Explain this in 50 to 100 words. I want to know all the assessments. The assessment you're doing during instruction, the assessment after instruction, if you are doing an assessment after instruction, but for at least I want to see formative in there. Prior knowledge needed, that is for the students. What do the students need to know previous to this lesson? What are you building upon? 20 to 50 words. Groupings. How will students work during the lesson, and what kind of group setting? Cooperative groups, small groups, alone, whole class. Explain to me and the rationale for that. Are they going to be by themselves, or are they going to be by themselves for part of it and with a group another part of it? Whatever it is, just explain it. There is no right or wrong. Just tell me what the plan is. Differentiation. Distinguish between content, process, and/or tasks assignments. Differentiation should include accommodations, adaptations for both special needs children and gifted. Do not talk about the names of the children, nor the specific disability that might be in this room, but give me some general idea of the kinds of disabilities might be in the classroom in a general sense, not identifying them with a particular child. And how are you going to differentiate your instruction to accommodate those children, the gifted, those with second language difficulties? Well, how are you going to accommodate them? Academic vocabulary introduced. What vocabulary terms, words will be new to the students? I'm expecting 3 to 6 words. Make sure they might be words they've heard before, but they don't really know, and they're a part of your lesson that you want to highlight. And so give me 3 to 6 of them. You start going over 6 words, it starts getting be too much. Get those 3 to 6 words that are critical to the lesson that you and your mentor teacher think that they'll need a little extra emphasis on. Critical higher order thinking. Questions or strategies may include probing, cueing across different levels. And so critical higher order thinking, what are some of the questions you're going to ask somewhere during your instruction? It might be at the beginning, middle, end, but somewhere in your instruction, we want you to have those critical higher order thinking questions or strategies where you're having them synthesize, analyze, evaluate, describe that, what's going on there. Remember, this is one lesson that you're giving, and these are parts of your lesson. Now we're going to go to the preparation materials, resources, the technology. So what are you using for technology? If you have technology, if you don't have technology, is there a book, there are worksheets, and so forth? Tell me all of those things that you're going to have there. 10 to 40 words. Delivery procedures. This is 100 to 150 words. This is the main part. Is it going to be direct, indirect instruction, exploratory, discovery, inquiry, motivation, sequence of lesson, delivery, transition, summary, closure? Go ahead and describe to me what's going to go on in this lesson. 100 to 150 words. Tell me from, for instance, like anticipatory set, or all the way to the delivery, student work, all the way to the closure. Tell me what the delivery procedures are going to be as you give your lesson. Now, I'll be happy to explain these to you. It's similar to what we've done in our class lesson plan, but somewhat different because there are some additional things here. And you're going to be doing one of these 3 times. You're going to do it. Another semester, it might be different. But if you have any questions, just give me a call. Come by my office. This is not the type of thing we'll be able to talk about in an email. If you send me an email, I'll probably just tell you, call me, and then we'll talk about it. But you give me a copy, and then you can call me, and we can both look at it together. Okay, good luck with this assignment.